Hey Crushers, I'm bringing you a new video to help give an idea of where to go as you begin raising your heroes from 7 stars to 8 stars. There will be multiple aspects being discussed here for both free-to-play and pay-to-win players, so be sure to watch through the whole video for both perspectives throughout it. What my goal is in today's video will be to discuss what heroes would be good to rush to 8, the best methods to get those heroes to 8, and what heroes can be moved to the back burner. Though I'd still love to hear your opinions, so if you feel like I missed a hero or would like to share your opinion on a different hero for priority, then it would make sense for you to drop a comment in the comment section below and I'll address you directly. Before we get started, I'd like to add a disclaimer that this is moving with the assumption that you have a lot of heroes at 7 stars already and are trying to decide what should be prioritized to take to 8 stars. This should help give some focus in the new update. We're going to start with discussing priority for magic medals first, and flues a little, then transition into discussing daily dungeons and other medal sources in a few minutes. Starting as a newer free-to-play person, I'd recommend proceeding into Gladiator, as that would be the fastest tank upgrade path, with Spark after that for survival purposes. I recommend taking these two heroes to 7 stars. Alternatively, if you want to go the long route for better end results, then you should focus on either Ice Cube or Shelly. Regardless of which tank you choose between Gladiator, Ice Cube, and Shelly, you can safely take them to 8-7-9 or even 8-8-9 without alarm or regret. Truthfully, I think it is wiser to aim for 8-7-9, at least to start, so you can get yourself with 2 solid tanks for Guild War. As a tenured free-to-play person, I'd recommend skipping Gladiator and focusing on Shelly or Ice Cube with the same general advice as given for the newer free-to-play players. However, I'd also stress that Shelly requires Namada and Ice Cube requires Thorn. I recommend picking a pair, focusing on them first. This is still assuming that you have a Gladiator and Spark at 7 stars. If you don't, then getting 2 sets of tanks and debuffers to 7 stars probably needs to happen before pushing hard into 8s. Regardless of the path you choose, the debuffers start working at 4 stars and get better at higher stars. An 8-star debuffer is not required to find success with an 8-star tank, but it does help. In regards to paying players, for modest spenders I'd recommend going Ice Cube and Thorn, because this skips the Blitz hero Namada required for Shelly and Namada combo. There tends to be more paying offers for non-Blitz heroes, so you should be able to acquire medals from that source easier too. Ornock isn't a realistic goal for most moderate spenders, but once you've finished the Ice Cube and Thorn set, focusing on Shelly and Namada would be relatively solid. Sprinkle in a 7-star Gladiator and Spark for Guild War purposes, and you've got essentially 2 to 3 core groups to do 2 to 3 attacks in Guild Wars. If you wanted to push Gladiator and Spark to 8 stars after the 2 epic sets, that would be okay to do, or you could then shift focus to do Scud, Onyx, Kasume, Misty, or even Aqua, depending on your preferences. Also worth noting that I do recommend maxing Vlad over Namada, so be sure to take your Vlad to 8 stars before your Namada goes to 8 stars. For heavy spending players, you're likely going to be looking at a 7 or 8 star Ornock. So prioritizing your magic metal spending on epics is the way to go. Focus on Ice Cube, Thorn, Shelly, Scud, Kasume, and Onyx. For flue spending, it isn't a bad idea to max Vlad and Namada as soon as possible. There are other good heroes, but these are the overall highest priority in my opinion. Transitioning into acquiring medals outside of magic medals, I'd say daily dungeons are the bread and butter for basically everyone. This is where you're going to get your general medals for any given pool, and magic medals should be used to prioritize important heroes outside of your focus pools, or to expedite maxing a given pool. Now I'll jump the gun here and tell you that maxing dark dungeons as soon as possible is the best path to take. There are the fewest heroes in Dark Pool, so it requires fewer dungeon tickets to max than any other pool. It has a lot of important debuffers like Dark Hunter, Kage, Kasume, and the ever-important Trickster, as well as plenty of in general good heroes like Onyx, Sorrow, Monkey Mortar, Dark Knight, and even Nico. Let's take a look at this image. I'm going to highlight a few important aspects to help make sense of what you're seeing. This is the water pool. Assuming you spend dungeon tickets solely on ×2 daily dungeon events, it would take 31,677 total to max the water pool. Fire requires 37,484, Earth requires 39,688, Light requires 35,967, and Dark requires only 29,522 dungeon tickets to max. This is from 7 stars to maxed at 8 for the entire pool. I would argue that Fire is the second most important dungeon pool to max, but it is also the second most required, with 37,000 dungeon tickets needed to max it. Based on these numbers alone, Dark is worth maxing first. The fact that it has heroes like Kasume and Trickster that will get maxed in the process only further solidifies the importance of my recommendation of Dark Dungeon. But wait, there's more. If you focus on Dark Dungeons first, that means that focusing your magic medals on non-dark heroes actually kinda makes more sense, since you're using them to rush heroes outside of the daily dungeon pool you're focused on, giving you faster access to solid heroes that you'd otherwise be waiting for until you eventually get them done in your daily dungeon priorities. There is an argument made for using magic medals to rush specific rare dark heroes like Kage, Monkey Mortar, and the epic hero Kasume to help speed up the daily dungeon strategy, and although that is true, I believe it is more important for the coverage of important tanks and debuffers in other pools over rushing Dark with using both magic medals and daily dungeon tickets. Let me know what you think regarding this in the comment section below. Now we can shift focus a bit and discuss the best ways of acquiring magic medals and daily dungeon tickets. For free-to-play players, I only recommend Mega Dungeon Raid. This is what Mega Dungeon Raid looks like. Don't try and buy all of them, but when being offered for flues, this is your lifeblood as a free-to-play player. I'd probably wait to focus Vlad until you've maxed the Dark element, though Mr. Moogle recommends waiting to focus on Vlad until you have finished both the Dark and Fire element pools completely. Then shift focus to this Vlad pack until he's maxed at 8 stars. The debuff matters a lot. However, you do get this exact debuff for free in Kasume, whom you'll get for maxing Dark Dungeons. You do get diminishing returns stacking Vlad and Kasume more at 8 stars, so you get more value splitting them for Guild Wars, though I'd still run both in Arena. For moderate spenders, I'd highly recommend focusing on the 2 previously mentioned packs, as well as the Kind of Magic, a Kind of Magic 1000 Blues variant, and Dungeon Mega Raid. Also worth noting are limited offer packs such as this one, which offers a lot of magic medals in exchange for currency, or potentially this one, which offers a lot of tickets and some shards to help awaken your heroes easier, and rune dust never hurts. Also, moderate spenders should consider spending some on Rune Hala or Duststorm packs to supplement their rune pool and improve as they go. Most of the spending is involving spending flues, so planning purchases around the 4x flues purchase events is the best way to go, and then hold it for when the offers you really want show up. Also worth noting that the reminiscence of the past offer is a better value of flues to currency, so you will probably want to buy those up when you see them as well. For heavy spenders, basically all of this and more. I really expect you to purchase all of the Rune Hala and Duststorm packs as they come up. The Rune Advantage is what really sets you apart from the moderate spender. You should also focus heavily on all the Blitz heroes as they come up, as that will give you another edge over moderate and non-spenders. There is also great offers for elements of heroes, like Frostbite for water heroes and Darkness Falls for dark heroes. You should be aggressively purchasing these packs. Rushing to 2 full arena teams will be a huge boon in Guild Wars, and being able to pull off 3 solid hits is even better, and this is your path to achieve that. To summarize and recap, for free-to-play players, I recommend focusing on Dark Dungeons solely until maxed, while only spending extra dungeon tickets during ×2 daily dungeon events. For magic medals, focusing on Gladiator then Spark until 7 stars, and then at your own discretion, either Ice Cube or Shelly with the appropriate debuffer. As an alternative to this, you could also skip using magic medals on Gladiator and instead use Dark Knight, which could be a decent tank for a free-to-play player when built tanky, since you'll have him from focusing on Dark Dungeons anyway. For spenders, I'd recommend maxing Dark Dungeon through the same method. Then for magic medals, I'd recommend skipping Gladiator and Spark, so long as they're at 7 stars, and focusing on Ice Cube or Shelly with the appropriate debuffer. Then focus magic medals on elemental DPS heroes such as Scud, Thorn, and so on. As I wrap up today's video, I'd like to thank several Discord users who helped contribute to the content covered today. Namely, I would like to thank Mithras, Charles, USO Remix, and Mr. Moogle. I'd also like to thank users such as yourself who watch my videos and encourage me to continue making content. Your contributions are more appreciated than you know. If you'd like to support this channel in other ways, there are several things you can do. Comments, likes, and subscribing are great ways to show your support. You can also show your support financially by contributing to my Patreon. The link to becoming a patron of this YouTube channel is in the description below this video as well. That's all the time we have for today. I appreciate you watching this video through to the very end. Thanks for watching.